what do you think has helped you the most to deal with those kinds of maybe fears, doubts, things that have held you back from moving forward?
I love the idea of evolution and evolving as a person. I never want to stay the same. Never. I never wanted to wish that I was still 21 years old. I'm not a nostalgic person whatsoever. I always like to look toward the future and what can we create that's beautiful? What can we manifest that's beautiful? So I'm more like that type of person. So having said that, taking a pause from the whole career timeline, it was interesting because it was navigating the space of who I was then, who am I now, who do I want to be? But all of it can exist in the same soup. You know, it really can. And each phase will bring about a new skill. It'll unearth a new something from you. Even if I come back to the workforce now, however that may be, I may want to do something completely different. I may want to set up, I don't know, a zoo tomorrow. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I take all the skills I learned with me and I take all those like amazing experiences, the skills I've developed, and I put that into my new thing.
Yeah. And I think what's amazing about you is because you've done so much in your life. You're clearly not afraid to take risks, right? Or reinvent yourself over and over again. And I think that, like, do you think that has to do with no attachment to any sense of self? Is it like because you said evolution, right? So you're constantly thinking about either, how you can evolve, how you can move. Is that what it is? Is that the mindset that allows you to kind of be more fluid? And it feels like that. It feels like the flow. I think that's what flow is, right?
Yes.
Ultimately, it's
absolutely
not being attached to anything and allowing things to just unfold. Is that what you think has helped you?
I remember we were just having this conversation outside before we started, and how we were talking about how each soul, I believe, has a blueprint, and whatever vision you have, whatever you dream about, is because that is really meant for you.
Yeah.
That vision, whatever it is. And sometimes it does not make any sense. And you wake up thinking, what was that? But it felt so real.
Yeah.
Like, is it something I could do? And I just keep asking myself questions along the way. I never say no. I can't say I can't. I just say I haven't done it yet.
Right.
And just leaves the door open. I think I owe it to myself. I owe it to my soul to explore, because that's really what Earth School is for.
Yeah.
We're really here to just try new things, and show up for each other the best we can, be kind, love.
Yeah.
And bring that onto our next journey.
Okay, tell me, what are the questions that you continue to ask yourself that help you also either direct yourself, find out what feels good to you? What are the kinds of things that helps you the most?
So usually, I'm a Pisces, right? So I'm definitely a dreamer.
Okay.
And I always say, what if? And then I imagine the scenario that I dreamt about. And then I journal about it.
Okay.
Okay. And then I go, well, what would that look like? And then that would be the next question. And then how do you think that can manifest? And then, and then who has done this before me that I could look toward? Or do I know someone that can help me? These are just all internal questions that I kind of walk myself through. And if and then you read your journal and then you're like, oh, it's actually I took the dream out of my head, I put it on paper, I put it onto something tangible, and it kind of lays out a plan for you. As rough as it is, as dreamy as it is, it's tangible. It's in the world now.
Yeah.
It's in your journal.
Yeah.
I really believe in the power of that.
So what I'm getting from you, T, is it starts with a possibility, right? And then you take this possibility and you kind of birth it out in the world like a mother would to a child, right? And then you see where that vision goes. What could it be? What would it look like? And you start just kind of using your natural intuition. It's actually like having a child, right? You birth a child, but you have no idea what personality this child is going to have, how they are going to show up in the world, what they're going to ask of you.
100%.
Right? And that's how ideas also, in a sense, get created out in this world from this little seed or this little dream in our mind.
Yeah.
And then we, at some point, allow it to kind of create itself in a way.
Allow it to manifest.
Allow it to manifest.
Allow the universe to work magic in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this how maybe art came for you, or is this a
Yes.
relation? Yes. Okay. Tell me about that.
Which art? Visual art or performing art?
Well, I didn't know that you were an art consultant.
Yes.
Right. I knew about the performing arts because I've seen you in that role, but I didn't know anything about, how you do art as a consultant and some of these other things. And even wellness. I've known you, I've associated you with wellness because of Global Mala
Yes.
for the longest time.
Yes.
But the art came as, I didn't know that about you.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about that and, how this connects to what we're talking about.
So before I got into the performing space, I was in the visual art space.
Okay.
I was very much into, as a child, I was that creative kid. I was always coloring. My mom could really leave me in a room with coloring books and crayons, and I'd be fine. I could entertain myself for like 2-3 hours. I'm fine. And then I loved performing as a kid, but I didn't, as a teenager, I didn't really do any of that. I went more internal into my world. I was more introverted. So I went more into like painting and drawing and sculpture, and I was supposed to go to Parsons in New York for painting and sculpture.
Wow.
And I came here to visit my mom because she had moved back to the Philippines, and that's where I was discovered. And that's how I started modeling, was because I came here to visit my mom and I was scouted. And so my visual art path took me on a performing art path, which also felt natural for me, So when the art opportunity or the idea of art started to percolate again, it was more about coming back to it. And how do I come back to it now, at this age, with what I know, what I've learned in the world? So at that time, I think I was filming the first season of Project Runway. It was around 2008. And it was like right before we finished filming, I just thought to myself, wow, I'm in the Philippines. We filmed the show for 6 weeks, but I have the whole year that's free. What else can I do?
Right.
And that's
there goes that question.
Yeah.
I love that. And that is actually something we need to highlight because it isn't highlighted enough in the world, that sometimes you just have to keep asking yourself the questions that no one's asking you. And that often will get you to kind of what your passion is or what you really want to do or what your next chapter looks like.
Yeah.
So I love that. Okay. So you asked yourself the question,
what else can I do?
Right.
And I know that, this is not, like, I didn't feel really like I tapped into my full creativity yet. Like I was, trust me, it was comfortable. It was a nice situation. I was filming a show. It was very popular, It was always in media. But I was like, there's something else. There's something else. I didn't know what it was. It's like, why don't I just put myself back into the art space again and see where that leads?
Okay.
And then so I started going to art fairs. I went to Miami, New York, London. I just started putting myself in art fairs, and then I met a mentor. My art mentor, Jeffrey Deitch, who kind of took me into this world. And, he's like, I could really see you're really interested in this. So after I was done with Project Runway, I moved back to LA, and, I pretty much went into art.
Beautiful.
And just not in art in a sense of like, I all of a sudden came in and I'm like, I'm an art consultant. No, it wasn't about that. It was just like, let me give myself a chance to learn about this industry and learn it well and meet the key players and really know what I'm talking about, really develop an eye, know the artists, know their style, go to studios, go to galleries, go to museums, really educate myself. That's usually the first part, awareness and education in anything.
Yeah.
And then when I felt like I had a little bit of something under my belt, then I was like, I started offering my services to friends, interior designer friends, who I felt like, do you need art? Can I help you?
Right.
And is there, you're doing this, let me help you with the art. I know a great artist. It was like, it started out there.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
very organically.
Very organically.
Right? And
very organically.
I want to just point out something is, I think a lot of people have this self-imposed pressure that we need to have everything figured out in the beginning. We need to know what we want to do. And we need to be, very intentional about all the steps. But I love how your story illustrates that you can let things unfold. You can have the patience, right? And you can give yourself the space to see, like, test it out, right? Do I like this? What do I like about it? Where do I see myself? Again, we're talking about fluidity. We're talking about flow. We're talking about, like, it doesn't sound like there was a lot of pressure that you were putting on yourself. You were just kind of exploring, right? And I love how that feels stress-free and easy. It doesn't feel difficult for someone to do, right? And a lot of people feel like, I don't know what to do, where to go, where to start, and so on. So I love that. And I think I needed to hear that too, because I'm about to start something that I've always wanted to do, but it's a little new to me too. And I think I was also trying to control and being like, okay, what's the next step? What do I need to do? And maybe I just need to feel into it, like you're saying, and just get to know the space a little bit more and then find my footing.
Exactly.
So,
put yourself in places and spaces that align with you and what your vision is.
Yeah. Let it happen, right?
Let it happen.
Let it happen.
Allow it to happen. Co-create with the universe. It's there for you.